Hello, you're listening to the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. My name is Reichen Young, a member of the Acting Company for Excellence and host of the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. Today we are talking to Gabrielle Collins. Native to Texas, Miss Gabrielle attended the University of Texas at Austin, graduating with a Bachelor of Science in Applied Learning and Development, Youth and Community Studies, with a concentration in special populations and specialization in disability studies in movement science. Prior to attending UT, Gabrielle received her Associates of the Arts in Dance from Collin College, during which she began her journey as a dancer, educator, and choreographer. A lifelong appreciator and advocate for inclusivity and accessibility of the arts, Miss Gabrielle hopes to provide quality performance art experiences to all who walk through the doors of NTPA. Welcome, Miss Gabrielle. So, to begin, you're the Managing Director of Accessible Theater for NTPA. Please tell us about that.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. So as the Managing Director of Accessible Theater, my job is to love people well. It is to advocate for my students and families, to create accommodations if there are none, and to create a space in which all students feel as though they have a place where they belong in the theater. I oversee both the Starcatchers and Deaf Theater troupes and absolutely love it. Theater in and of itself is inherently therapeutic, and through these programs, I am working to ensure that we maintain high-quality performing arts opportunities for all.
Wow, what a great response. I have worked with the Deaf Theater a couple of times myself, and I love just really getting into the process and also just like chatting with all the actors. Is there anything in particular that you find that you really love about that program?
I think it's the community that makes it the best. When you step in, you are immediately welcomed and embraced, and it is just so much fun to connect with other people that you know all have a same common passion.
Absolutely. I've always really enjoyed that. And so you started your collegiate education by attaining an associate's degree in dance. You obviously have a passion for dance and choreography. What do you love about it and hope that your students learn from it?
So I'm a firm believer that movement is a really powerful form of communication. There's a reason that there are a multitude of studies on nonverbal communication or body language, as well as a multitude of therapies with emphasis on physical manipulation and use of the body. So, in my opinion, there is a certain magic to entering a space and being encompassed by music and allowing that music to guide direction, texture, duration, dynamics of the body, just to kind of name a few of them. And my hope is that through movement, my students are learning that there is power in taking up space and that they are deserving of that space.
I love that. And that's also something that I do believe should be just preached in theater just in general is like large physicalization. Physicality. There we go. Thank you. But yeah, exactly. Physicality is something that I do think is very underappreciated in theater, and I really think should be amplified because it really does like push forward like a character, and it just creates this amazing environment in which the audience can truly like relate with the character and be like,
yes.
Man, like they really know what they're doing. And I just love choreography for that reason. So you continued your education at the University of Texas, where you specialize in disability studies and movement science. Why did that specific field of study appeal to you?
So I began working with people with disabilities in a dance studio. So I worked one-on-one with a student for about 4 years who, when I graduated high school, I found myself missing more than anything. And through that feeling, I started to explore how I could continue to work with people with disabilities in an environment that's similar to that dance studio context. So I was fortunate enough to attend UT, Hook 'em Horns, where I studied directly under Professor Pam Buchanan, who is a disability specialist, emphasizing in the importance of studying disability within the context of kinesiology. And it was through her program that I really felt that I experienced growth in the direction of like my creative calling. So working with people with disabilities in a creative environment that welcomes them for who they are in the best way that we can.
Of course. And so kind of bouncing off of that, you are a lifelong advocate for inclusivity and accessibility of the arts. Why is accessibility important to you and NTPA as an organization?
So accessibility is a really critical thing to creating an environment in which people of all backgrounds are invited into the space, welcomed upon arrival, and actively included, not just throughout the time that they're physically present in the space, but also when they're not actually there. So within our Starcatchers and Deaf Theater programs, we're constantly evaluating how can we value, honor, and celebrate differences while we're also promoting our student or performers' agency and autonomy.
That's amazing. I do think it's so important to have everybody in the theater, and especially because like so often, it's like a lot of groups of people are like, oh well, we could like live without them in a theater when in a theater like environment. When I do believe that theater was created by humanity and should be maintained and really just cared for by humanity as well, and humanity's everybody. Like. It's just an undeniable fact that we are who we are, and we're on this planet just to be ourselves and really like just embrace life to the fullest. And so I do believe that absolutely everybody should be included in theater, and I really love that you're an advocate also for that inclusivity, which is just incredible, and we love just having like people like that in the theater. And so just thank you for really coming in and really like introducing just like such a love of life.
Absolutely. Well, it's so important that we all recognize that we are human beings all searching for connection. We all want to enter a space and have someone that we can make eye contact with, who we know is going to say hello to us, address us by name, maybe even give us a hug, but to have that true, genuine human connection regardless of our backgrounds. And I think the theater is the perfect place to find that.
It absolutely is. And people are so kind and like friendly here. Like you'll never meet like a truly mean theater kid. That's just my whole philosophy. So tell us more about what NTPA is doing to make arts accessible to all.
So I really fell in love with NTPA's 10 characters and how that is incorporated into everything that we do here. And so I believe that the 10 characters really highlight the values of the organization as a whole, and they really help promote the celebration of inclusivity and accessibility within the theater. So we are constantly looking for and finding ways to integrate the 10 characters into our rehearsal processes, and I think that amplifies that aspect of inclusivity and accessibility.
Absolutely.
Where we are looking, okay, how can I love one another? As that's our 10 character that Starcatchers really strives to encompass. How can we love one another when we enter the theater space and then carry that beyond just the theater?
Exactly.
And so I think what we're doing with the 10 characters really helps make the arts more accessible to all in the core value of what we're doing and the essence of what NTPA is doing.
100%, and one of my favorite 10 characters, while I love every single one of them, I particularly love integrity, just in general, because it just goes to show that like you can be a good human without necessarily like other people looking or for any other reason. And I do believe that you should just do what's good for everybody.
Absolutely.
But also for yourself. Like, that's also important. Like, do take care of yourself, but also, like, consider other people. And I do think that that's something truly amazing that the program is doing, is it's, like, including everybody. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. We're just including humans. And so I find that just so interesting, and I do think integrity is an amazing example of that. And as you said, like, all the other 10 characters, it's just Starcatchers and the Deaf Theater and every other amazing like inclusive program is really encapsulating those. And so that's also just what I love just about NTPA and the 10 characters that you just said. How has the community received all of these inclusive productions from the Deaf Theater and Starcatchers?
So community support of both Starcatchers and Deaf Theater has really been phenomenal. I'm a firm believer in the importance of showing up, and our NTPA community, as well as those outside of it, really show up for these troops. A lot of our supporters find themselves drawn into the magic of the theater, as I believe there's magic in the theater, and the theater is magic. And we really find that community connection, what we were talking about earlier with that natural, innate human desire to connect with one another and find community, that is just built upon every single time we have a show, a summer camp, a class, whatever it may be, is we are constantly hearing our students saying, hey, do you want to hang out and play Minecraft later? Or, hey, do you want to go see this other show that another troupe is doing together? So we're finding that community connection within Starcatchers and Deaf Theater as their own individual troupes, but then between one another and with the other troupes of NTPA as well.
And going back to like that human connection, you could also argue that Starcatchers is also helping bring like families and friends together.
Absolutely. So we always say that in a world that tells our students no, we want to be the one place where they get to hear a yes.
Yes.
And our families are walking into a place where they are accepted, welcomed, and loved the moment they walk in the door. And finding that community that says yes is so important.
It is.
DFW has a tremendous amount of opportunities for families families with disabilities to participate in sports, the arts, whatever it may be, but there's not necessarily opportunities that are lifelong. And within Starcatchers and Deaf Theater, we are seeing lifelong opportunities for these families to participate in theater and find a community that wants to support them throughout however long they want to be with us.
That's fascinating. Oh, that's such a good response. That's also like another good quote. I'm sure like a lot of you know who are listening, we have like little quote cards, and that's like that right there is just a perfect just encapsulation of not only exactly like who you are and like what you really stand for, but also like what the company stands for as well. And so we love that you're really an advocate and a huge I can't think of the word right now, but just like a huge spokesperson for that. And we really, really appreciate that. And finally, what advice would you give someone who wants, what advice would you give someone with a disability who wants to pursue theater?
So presence creates possibility. Getting through the door is the absolute first step, right? So like I mentioned earlier, there is magic in the theater, and I really hope that anyone who just steps into the theater knows that they are the ones creating that magic and that they belong here. So we want to welcome them in with open arms, and I think that's all that they need to know, is that there is a place for them, and the moment they step in the door that we have it for them.
I love that. Man, so many good quotes come from today. Wow. Okay. And now, Miss Gabrielle, it's time for the Ace Up Your Sleeve 5 Quick Questions, where we ask every guest the same 5 quick questions. You must answer every question quickly and without explanation. Are you ready?
Yes.
What was the name of the first show you performed?
The Addams Family.
What is your favorite show?
Moulin Rouge.
What is your favorite role?
Sebastian in The Little Mermaid.
What is your dream role?
Maria in Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812.
And what is your favorite candy?
Right now, Nerds Gummy Clusters.
Oh, those are the best. Truly the perfect blend of sweet and sour. I love it. Thank you so much, Ms. Collins, for talking with us on the Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast. And until next time, I'm Reichen Young. Remember, you always have a winning hand with an ace up your sleeve. The Ace Up Your Sleeve podcast is brought to you by the students of the Acting Company for Excellence at North Texas Performing Arts. This podcast was created by Reichen Young, with sound design and editing by Latham Young. NTPA is a nonprofit organization dedicated to developing the character of youth through quality performing arts education and family entertainment. Learn more about upcoming programs and events at ntpa.org.